between your heyday and wrestling now?
Well, I think probably the biggest difference is nobody told me how to wrestle. Nobody told me how to talk or think. A lot of things have changed. There's a lot of people behind the scenes that write scripts and basically tell the wrestlers how to walk and talk and basically try to tell them what to do in the ring. I think that's the basic difference between when I did my thing.
Another question, Hulk, why did you start using steroids? And assuming you have, why did you...
Good question.
Well, I mean, at the time when I got into the professional wrestling business, not trying to point fingers, but everybody in all the sports industries were using them, baseball and football and hockey and wrestling. And at the time when I got into business, the guys were huge, larger than life, and the steroids were legal at the time. But around 1988 or 1990, people got re-educated. They realized that it wasn't something that was necessary, especially for sports entertainment and exhibition like wrestling is. So people have been re-educated, thank God.
There are reports your son Nick has taken up wrestling training, true?
Well, I heard my son Nick, in his spare time, is heading out to North Hollywood to a gentleman named Rikishi's wrestling school and learning the ropes. So it's going to be interesting. Well, I think he's curious at what his dad was attracted to all those years. He could be wanting to get in shape, and he could be just having fun, but it's going to be kind of interesting to see where that ends up.
Would you do another reality show?
Yes, sir, I would.
With Jennifer and your life now, you would do it again?
I don't know if it'd be with Jennifer in my life, but I would sure love to do a reality show where we tried to find the next Hulk Hogan and see if that guy's out there.
So it would be like a talent search.
Well, I could kind of see an American Idol, type show for wrestlers to find the next great Hulk Hogan. I think that'd be interesting.
Whoa. Hey, best of luck, Hulk, and I want to thank David Houston for assisting us on that key question. I'm very anxious that your book does well. Always good being with you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Hulk. Thank you, David. And Hulk's book is My Life Outside the Ring. Jermaine Jackson is on the red carpet, anxious to see This Is It. We're going to talk to him at the global premiere of his brother Michael's Ultimate Triumph.
The premiere is going down today. This is it. We got CNN on. I was just checking that. It is the global premiere of the movie, and I'm just chilling in the basement, just watching, seeing what we got going on here. We got ads everywhere, and just wanted to mention, saw the movie today. Just got back from this one. Capitalism. Capitalism is called. It was the love story of capitalism. This right now is 1/2/33, October 28th, 2009, Wednesday at midnight. This is the global premiere of This Is It, the movie, and this is saw this one earlier today. That's pretty good. Out of turn 15. And I guess it was interesting. Interesting history story. You got the story of capitalism in America and the current situation that's going on. Shout out to the Word of Mouth Wednesday, because we had one of the people that was featured in that movie on the Word of Mouth Wednesday. Robin Nieto interviewed him. One of the protesters at the Republic Windows and Doors that made it into the movie Capitalism was on the Word of Mouth Wednesday on CKLN 88.1 FM. We got the big annual general meeting is going down tomorrow. Not sure what's going to happen, but we did get some minutes from last year's meeting, so I'll going to take a read into those and figure out what I missed. What is this? This is called This Is It Special, but it isn't during the Molten Titanium show. I'm not quite sure what is actually going on there, but I am feeling a bit buzzed on ESPN World Series going down tomorrow, and Raptors season opener. Toronto Raptors always got to support the local NBA franchise because we are doing things, and we also have been checking out the latest on this situation with always concerning undies. This is it special. We've been talking about the work of Bob, and always featured on the James Martinez Cash Flow Show, which is a good show. But some clips from their latest appearance, which was on a show called Occult Science Radio, which was getting into a lot of different topics, and
Absolutely right. Right, and so they had to, the African Americans had to come up with a whole new verbal music called hip hop or rap to get on MTV. The whole music disappeared, and I've read reviews of some of it's either Thriller or another album that he put out, and it's a collage of all the great archetypes of rhythm and blues and all that tradition, and other stuff in African music. He killed all that because he represented MTV, which then changed everything. Now the African Americans responded with their rap, and that was pretty original, and then got back on. But it's interesting that he killed Motown.
hip hop don't stop.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, I don't think Berry Gordy will ever forgive him for letting Michael and his family get away.
So there you go.
Bob?
Yes.
I was just going to say, there's a question in the chat room. They want a little bit more info about the parallel world, if you can.
Well, I'd love to go into it because this is an occult show, and this is what.
Please.
We all heard of astral projection, but that is more in the mind and the imaginative. What we say with parallel worlds is that there's two of everything. There are two of you, Curtis. Right now, there are two of me and two of James. And the other version of you is in the other world. And it's a chemical body meat sack. And you can go over there when you learn how to do it and meet that person, and that person can come over here. So if you accept the principle as two of everything, then you can understand there's communication between the two worlds. Now, I started hearing about this in the spring. Immediately, the first story that illustrated it was the Air France crash. Do you remember that plane went from Brazil to Paris in 2 years?
Oh, yes.
Well, James and I followed that story, and it was absurd. The bodies didn't show up till a week later, and they were found, and they were all well preserved. How can a body be floating in the water for a week and not be rotten? Well, what happened is the plane went through what we call the rift. And this is around the famous Bermuda Triangle area. I don't know if it was exactly there, but approximately there. It goes through the rift and gets in a parallel world. And for the people that experienced it, some of them were seasoned rift riders and set it up that they could they got on this plane because they wanted to go to the other world. So they land in a Paris over there. And in the transition, there's a little flash of light and a bit of shake-up. We're showing this plane crash somehow. But all that the people on the plane experienced was a little turbulence, and all of a sudden they were landing in Paris. They get out, they walk around, and after a while, some of them who weren't rift riders said, there's something odd going on here. And eventually, they started to feel that this was different. They didn't know. They didn't understand the vibration. I mean, like whoever, their family they met, there was something different. So they got depressed, and they started trying to kill themselves. And they did kill themselves, and they dropped back in this world, and that's when the bodies were found. If they had done any autopsies of them, they would have found swimming pool water in them, all kinds of weird things, marks on them. They
got H1N1 drills. We got This Is It, the movie. It's premiere. That's the Los Angeles premiere going down right now.
Substance in them and markings that did not relate to the crash. Also, they weren't even ripped apart by the explosion. So we could go. Anyway, that was our first experience of something in the news. The next thing was the Russian cargo ship. But a few weeks later, disappeared in English Channel or something. Did you hear about that thing?
You're hearing a
Oh, yes, I recall that quite vividly.
This cargo ship it's huge and had all this stuff. It disappears, and with GPS and all the satellite surveillance, you can't You can't disappear. And that brings up another point. They never found the black box for the Air France planes. How come that? So